Topics that we're going to be talking about. First, why is the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Sports launching an investigation on a 2017 Sajegi allegations against BTS? It's 2024. Second, why is HYBE not communicating with BTS fans constantly to update us on what's going on with the case? And what steps are they taking to protect BTS? Third, who sent the Wreaths and why were they sent? And last, what can we do as international fans?
Hi! If you do end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification button and share the video if you can. Okay, on to the video.
Why is the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Sports launching an investigation on a 2017 Sajegi allegations against BTS? I'll cut to the chase. This is not confirmed. This means there is no evidence that the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Sports actually said that they will investigate the Sajegi allegations. All we have is what seems to be one article that everybody is referencing. All but one article claim that the ministry is actually going to investigate. But there is no formal notice from the ministry. The online article stated someone submitted a complaint and request to investigate a 2017 Sajegi allegations against BTS. In the actual article, it states that the ministry received the petition to reinvestigate the case. It didn't say that the ministry agreed to reinvestigate the case. The conclusion that the ministry is going to reinvestigate the case seemed to have come from the author, but it is carefully worded so that it's going to look like the ministry actually said it. Two major things. First, no matter what publication you check, none of them provided any proof that the ministry said that they received the petition, let alone stated that they will reinvestigate. Second, all articles mentioning this reinvestigation mentions the Korea Jungang Daily article. You should be seeing that on your screen right now. All of these images will be available on my Patreon for you to read, so you don't have to give these people any kind of engagement. This Korea Jungang Daily was published May 4. However, it seemed to have come from another article in Naver published May 2. You should be seeing that on your screen right now as well. Now, pay close attention. Twisting of the message. In the body of the article, it says, "We received complaints." They didn't say that they will reinvestigate. Somehow, though, the headline stated that the ministry will reinvestigate. Where did that come from? Also, the very first article was published May 2, the same day the complaint was submitted. So the ministry decided on investigating something the same day they received a complaint? I guess that's possible, but is that probable? Lack of proof and support. Even the very first article published on Naver did not provide proof that the ministry said that they will reinvestigate. It was merely received. My gut is that it is actually a stamp that agencies or most organizations provide to anyone who submits a document. I guess you know what I'm talking about, right? When you submit, for example, a petition to the court, they will receive your petition, stamped, dated. This is to acknowledge what you submitted, so you have proof that you actually gave them the document. But it's not necessarily a statement from an official saying that they're actually going to look into it. Wrong context. The original article quotes a Mr. A who submitted the complaint. Mr. A said that Big Hit was involved in Sajegi or chart manipulation. This is actually inaccurate. The original court case filed by Big Hit mentioned that the guy blackmailing one of the employees of Big Hit claimed that the employee bought Sajegi. That's why the term Sajegi was actually mentioned in the court case. It isn't because Big Hit was involved in Sajegi. It's only because the guy that's blackmailing their employee claimed that they're selling Sajegi or chart manipulation. Next, Statute of Limitation. The article, the original one, actually stated that the Statute of Limitation has actually passed for this case. So the person who complained simply wanted the ministry to not follow the law because they feel that the rule of law is not going to be followed unless they don't follow the rule of law. Let me repeat that. The law states that the statute of limitation has passed. But the person who complained is asking the ministry to not follow the law because they feel that if they follow the law, then the law will not be followed. I'll keep that on the screen just in case you feel like your brain is tricking you. It is the most intelligent concept I have ever come across. It takes the cake. Scratch that, it takes the whole damn bakery. Let me say it again for posterity. The law states the statute of limitation has passed, but the person who complained is asking the ministry to not follow the law because he feels that if they follow the law, then the law will not be followed. It's all about BTS Beating EXO. The complaint specifically mentioned BTS Beating EXO in 2016 for Album of the Year award. They said that EXO album sold more than BTS. This was in 2016. The role of Korean Jungang Daily article. By May 4, the Korean Jungang Daily actually published a translated article of the original article published in May 2 in Naver. This has since become the main article that other publications are using or referring to when they are reporting on the case. However, the translation is not direct. They actually made it sound worse because in the very first sentence they said the ministry will order an investigation. But in the second line they stated the ministry said that it received the petition, not that they will investigate. Online sites like Korea Boo, All K-pop all referred to the Korean Jungang Daily article, and my god is that because it was written in English as opposed to the original article back in May 2, which is written in Hangul. So the bottom line, it isn't confirmed. I'm not saying it is not true, but no one can confirm it except that one article in Naver with nothing to back it up. This case has already been decided on back in 2017. And as I've said, even the original article stated that the statute of limitation has already passed. However, assuming it is true that the ministry is considering reinvestigating the case, they can't just not investigate it on the basis of BTS's economic contribution to Korea. There are a lot of other companies and businesses and brands that are contributing to the country's economy with much larger amounts. They aren't above the law. BTS is also not above the law. There are just two things that leave a bad taste in the mouth. Number one is timing. We all know there's an active campaign to malign HYBE, and BTS is the key to the kingdom of HYBE. They need to destroy BTS if they have a chance at destroying HYBE. Number two, this has already been decided by the court. You can't hear the same case twice.
I know a lot of armies are going to ask, why is the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Sports not doing anything to clear BTS's name after everything that BTS has done for them? Jin had to delay his military service just so he can do the free concert and help Busan in their World Expo bid. They were the tourism ambassador for so very long. After all the cultural influence, the economic help that they have extended, and I agree with that. Of course, I'm an army. I want their name cleared, but we also need to entertain the possibility that maybe the ministry hasn't even gotten to reviewing that case. I really feel it's impossible for them to get the complaint and then review it on the same day and make a decision on the same day. It's just, I'm sure they deal with a lot of things, not just on K-pop, but other sports, tourism, and cultural things. So we need to give them the benefit of the doubt. The second is that let's consider the fact that after BTS members get released from the military, they're still going to have to go back to this industry and live in Korea, exist in this Korea, and deal with all of those people. So let's just keep that in mind when we do all of these things. So I think it's better to just support them, and I'm going to discuss how at the end of the video.
Now the wreath. Someone on Twitter actually claimed to have been the one to have sent the wreaths. The person said she supports BTS but not HYBE. The Twitter account is fairly new and does not follow any of the BTS's associated Twitter account. It also makes weird claims like buying merch will benefit HYBE, but buying CDs won't benefit HYBE and only BTS. BTS is under Big Hit. Big Hit is owned by HYBE. Whatever you buy, it will benefit both HYBE and BTS. And BTS is part owner of HYBE. It also continues to ask fans to ask BTS to leave HYBE. Why will BTS leave the company they built? If there is anybody who should leave, it's everybody else, but not BTS. That is the company they built. And people need to get that in their head. HYBE is BTS, they built that, they own that. No one else has more right to it than them. HYBE's slow response. Everyone is castigating HYBE for their slow response. Actually, they are fast. Legal proceedings take time. Next, they should not reveal all the intel and info they have. That would be, excuse my French, stupid. In a court case, the best card you have is the card you haven't played. If they reveal everything, they're just gonna give the other party time to cover up whatever they have on them. Next, we don't know what's in the contract. Procedures for conflict resolution are usually laid out in the contract, and they have to follow it or the other party wins by default. In the US, it's actually common for mediation to be the only option in case of a conflict like this. The mere fact that HYBE isn't limited to that is amazing in itself.
BTS has trusted Big Hit, Bang Shihyuk, and HYBE enough for them to renew their contract or leave the second time, and so I'm going to continue trusting them because BTS trusts them. HYBE's first and only responsibility is to guarantee that they are protecting the funds and the asset and the company that BTS built, which is HYBE. So if that means they will not address the public and armies until everything is over, just so they can keep their cards close to their chest, they should do that. Armies can wait if it means doing what is best for BTS. They better be pulling the best lawyers in Korea for this. And it looks like they are. They hired a separate law firm just to pursue defamation cases against people that are maligning BTS. And they actually have the #1 law firm for their case against Minijin. So armies can wait. They should just do their best for BTS. The silver lining, if the objective is to paint BTS at its worst, all it did is bring out the best in armies. I haven't seen this energy in a while. A lot of the big social media accounts that led many of the efforts to support BTS actually went into hibernation because they just needed to recharge and rest. But because of this, many of them actually came out of hibernation to support the album of RM, Right Place, Wrong Person. And now, Not Today, a single from 7 years ago, is back on top of the charts. And who knows, maybe it can make Billboard Hot 100. It's kind of funny, actually, thinking about it. Everything people have tried to sort of take down BTS ends up elevating BTS. Haters, for example, made sure to convince international media that the prevailing sentiment is that Korea wants BTS to serve, when it's actually not true. BTS did end up serving, but instead of taking their career down, it just put them in another level. They earned the respect of armies after all the efforts that they put to make sure that there's always something new every week for armies. They've gained the respect of international media for how well they've actually planned their hiatus. And being a part, just based on the conversations I've had with everyone who served in the Korean military, all of them are saying the same thing, that being a part of something bigger than you are changes you. And if this is the same thing that they're experiencing and feeling, I love it for them, because for the first time, they're not responsible for the progression of Korea's culture. They're just a part of something bigger than they are, of something vital to what's happening in their country. I hope that just like how that experience helped all of these other people that I've spoken with grow, I hope that the same thing happens to them. And that's going to make a lot of difference when they do their music. They're going to, and I hope that I'm pretty sure that it's going to change them for the better. It also confirmed the fears of haters, and that fear is that ARMY is not going to go away, that they made a huge mistake pushing BTS to serve and not pushing armies to serve with BTS. Because that's what they should have done. They should have pushed armies inside the military with BTS. I honestly don't know when these haters are going to realize and learn that every plan that they have executed to destroy BTS actually only served to make BTS and ARMY's bond stronger. At this rate, these haters are going to be the biggest motivators of ARMYs. So, yeah, I don't know when they're going to realize that. Is there somebody paying all of these people to attack BTS, Big Hit and Hype? My guess is as good as yours. So I don't know. All I have is a theory, but my guess is as good as yours. In my opinion, which is not libelous because it can't be proven, at the very least, many of these attacks are riding on and taking advantage of the chaos that Min Hee-jin started. At the very least. At its worst, then maybe it is a concerted effort, but I have no proof. So that's it. That's my theory. At the very least, these people are taking advantage of the chaos. What can we do as international fans? International fans are a huge asset to BTS and to Korean armies, because a lot of the things that they consider to be an issue, for us, we don't care because of the difference in culture. And so we have the tendency to be detached from many of the things that they find to be chaotic, and that will allow us to just concentrate on BTS. So for example, like a dating scandal is such a huge thing in Korea. For many Western armies, it's like we don't care. I mean, they date. Let them date. You know, fashion is a huge thing, like clothes is a huge thing for them. For us, we just either say, oh, that works, or that doesn't work, or whatever, but it's not a huge thing. It's not a reason for us to not support anybody. So because we are a little bit more detached, we can just concentrate on supporting BTS, and that's what we should do. Just support BTS. Stream. It doesn't have to be a paid subscription. It's good if you can afford it. If you don't, just use a free platform, YouTube, free account on Spotify. Retweet, repost things about BTS. It doesn't matter if you don't have a follower or a friend. An engagement is an engagement, and if that is going to help keep the name of BTS afloat, then go ahead and do it. If there are influencers or accounts you're not sure of, you can always ask other armies if they are actual armies, or you can ask me, and if I know, I'll let you know. If not, then I'll help you figure it out. Just be careful, because not everyone who has that 7 in their username is an army. Some of them are just using that to gain influence. And the most important thing is to live their message. They're about loving ourselves, loving others. They have supported many causes, and so we can follow that. If we can, just let people know how BTS inspired us. I'm sure for many of us, they're not the only influence, but they are just one of the many influences in our lives. So if we can just share the fact that BTS inspired us in one way or another, that will be good. I think that is the greatest compliment you can ever give an artist. If you can, open an account on Weverse and just leave a message for them there. Maybe they will see it. They go there regularly. Maybe they won't, but maybe other armies will see it and copy you and also leave a beautiful message, and then maybe their message will be seen by BTS. Just if you can, just do that. Those are the easiest things that we can do to continue and keep on supporting BTS. Okay, I will be uploading other videos on Patreon, an extended version of this one. There are other issues that you want me to talk about, so I'll do that in Patreon. But I won't make it tonight, so I'll probably upload that tomorrow. So follow me on Patreon if you can. But thank you very much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification button, and share the video if you can. As I've said, follow me on Patreon, also on X and Twitter, and on Instagram. And I'm trying to get closer to announcing some of the exciting projects that I'm doing. So I hope I get to do it next week. But in my next upload, I'll try to balance things out. There's a lot of negativity, so I'll just upload good stuff to balance things out. Okay, thank you.